Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup. I'm Neeraj Shah. Let's take stock of the global news flow first. Asian markets are mirroring Wall Street's rally on a day of Australia's July inflation numbers. So that's actually good news. Bitcoin and crypto stocks have jumped after US court paves way for an ETF. Sharp up move there on Bitcoin in particular, but all crypto stocks, all kinds of crypto stocks have moved higher. India's cumulative monsoon rainfall 9% below normal as of August 29. This is a bit of a worry, particularly for uh, most monsoon related stocks, including FMCG. No wonder FMCG index was a bit soft in trade yesterday. And Apple has set September 12th date for launch of the iPhone 15 as well as new watches. These are now events unto themselves across the world, and I'm sure this time around in India as well. Two Apple stores, or maybe slightly more, would be interesting to see what happens there too. Okay, now first, what happened to the U.S. markets? Like I said, Asian markets are mirroring Wall Street's rally, but Wall Street we didn't have a thunderous rally, but 1.74% for the Nasdaq, which is very strong. Suddenly, people say that hey, maybe the Fed will not make a move, and that brings about a bit of a rally. Treasuries inched up as well, so yields would have slid a little bit more. Let's bring them up. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm presuming they'll be lower. 4.12 versus 4.18 at this time yesterday, or it's as of 7:30 a.m. yesterday. So definitely a pullback out there. Steady for the dollar index, steady for the VIX, so no big changes there. The gift nifty, well, usually it indicates a flat start and then it does something else. So I don't know if this is a real lead indicator, but let's wait and watch how the markets behave. I suspect that it's probably a decent outing that we have in our hand today. And well, it wasn't a great move, but it was a mildly positive move in trade yesterday, 0.19%. So you could argue it was a flattish move for the Nifty, and the Bank Nifty for sure was very flat, despite the fact that HDFC Bank was a gainer 2 days on a trot. But flattish moves for the last couple of days, at least for the Bank Nifty. The Nifty is gained a little bit more. Broader indices ended positive yesterday. Mid cap was up about 0.3%, small cap index about 0.54%. And that was because of the fact that Nifty real estate has a big move, so mid caps and small caps. No large cap representation per se right there. In the strictest scheme of things, maybe say for DLF or Godrej Properties. And Nifty really gained the most, followed by Nifty Metal, which was up yesterday. And we are hearing all sorts of conversations about metal companies having raised prices, cement companies having raised prices, chemical prices moving up. So it's looking very interesting. And, and therefore the trade setup, I mean, there's Nifty closing marginally above its 50-day moving average with metal and real estate stocks outperforming is actually a positive sign. Indices, to my mind, are still seen as constructive, and dips, if any, could be bought into. Remember, all of the last few days, like a broken record, we've been saying that don't go leverage short on the markets. It's not a great idea. And that's the reason, because indices are still seen, to my mind, as constructive. Beaten down sectors are starting to see traction selectively, bringing focus on valuations. Now, why do I say that? Like I said yesterday, suddenly everybody is talking about what's happening to chemicals, which have not done anything for the last few months or quarters, if you will. Look at the kind of price volume action seen in some of these stocks. Deepak Nitrite up 6.5% with 7.6 times the volumes. RT Industries 5%, nearly 5%, nearly five times the volume. Atul 4% higher, 3.5 times the volumes of the 2-week average. Just shows the kind of traction that is coming in into some of the pockets which had not moved at all. Yesterday we were speaking to Pankaj Tibrewal of Kotak. Even he mentioned this, that over the next 6 months you will see IT come sometime in December starting to be lapped up. They have bought into it selectively, and they spoke that chemicals is a space that we had not spoken in the conversation yesterday, but it was an important one to look at. I've heard 2 or 3 people, including Mihir Vora of Max, Pankaj Tibrewal of Kotak, and I think I'll do this conversation with Pankaj Murak of Renaissance Investment Managers today as well. What to do with chemicals now? But they're certainly starting to make a move. Yesterday, there was a Batliwala and Karani sales note which spoke about how phenol prices have risen, and that might be auguring well for Deepak Nitrite as well, as a result of which the kind of move that these stocks made. So, but be careful, unless you understand these commodity chemical space well, and some of these have a larger proportion of commodity chemicals as well, in addition to the specialty chemicals that they produce. So just be careful of, if you're trading them, From an investment perspective, most people say that the chemical stocks have done so precious little in the last 12 to 18 months, while earnings have in certain cases caught up, that you might see some bit of an uptick there. But if you're trading them, please be careful, because unless you have a complete handle on how the movement in the chemicals impact the underlying stocks as well. But strong moves yesterday in some of these, and in some cases, like I said, with Deepak Nitrite, there was a reason for that to happen, possibly because of phenol prices inching up, which is such a large proportion of their business now, that there was valid reason. But just be careful with chemicals per se in general. Then Zomato, SVF Growth offers about 100 million Zomato shares in multiple blocks. Floor prices set at about 94 rupees a piece. They seek about 114 million. This could I reckon this could be amongst the last of the blocks. So do watch out for Zomato. The floor price also is at 94, which is not too much further down from the current market price. If absorbed, you could see some upsides today in Zomato. If absorbed well, I suspect that it will be absorbed well. These stocks are in a bit of a frenzy of late, and maybe with reason. Jupiter Wagons, remember the wagon stocks have been smashed in the last couple of days. On Monday, we had spoken about how the monthly wagon data was not too promising. 2 days on a trot now. Titagarh has gone down. Jupiter has gone down yesterday. Texmaco, which had gained 11% the previous day, has gone down as well. Now, Jupiter Wagons is saying that there's a board meet on September 5th, 6 days from now, for considering a proposal for raising funds through the QIP route. Does this give a bit of a floor and a bit of a spurt to the stock? Maybe could. So keep a keen eye out for that. Z might be in focus today. SAP will hear Punit Goenka's appeal against SEBI's confirmatory order on Wednesday. Don't know which way the order could come out and what it will do, but watch out for Z. Watch out for GR Infra projects. Subsidiaries execute concession agreement with NHAI for 2 projects in Karnataka worth a total of 1,457 crores. Do watch out for this one. We know that the promoter Rahul Gupta sold 15 lakh shares in APL Apollo Tubes. Would they want to sell more? Who knows? But in AMI Organics case, there is some more data out here. So gentleman called Girish Kumar Chovatia sold about 6.2% shares, 6.2 lakh shares, sorry, 1.7%. And Morgan Stanley bought that. The key is there more supply in store? Well, Mr. Chovatia had about 25.95 lakh shares as of June 2023. He had reduced it from 8.5% in March to 7.12%. Now, assuming that nothing's happened since then, 1.7% gone, which means that there is some more stake that Mr. Chovatia has, and therefore that pressure on AMI Organics, who knows, might stay as well. It's a business which is doing really well from the looks of things and from what I read from Brokerage Notes. The question is, can this technical factor remain an overhang on the stock? Maybe it could. So keep an eye out for that as well. And now, some brokerage notes, if you will. Let me see if what have I missed out on. Give me a minute just to get my notes sorted. So yeah, there is some talk of Zomato or HSBC having raised the target prices on Zomato. So that is certainly to be watched out for. On SBI cards, there is a Morgan Stanley note with an overweight rating and a target price of 1155. The July 2023 credit card statistics plus the high frequency August 2023 data makes Morgan Stanley constructive on SBI cards. Like I said, the target price is 1155, which means that there is a 40% upside to the current market price as per Morgan Stanley. So do watch out for that as well. And just trying to get that note from HSBC. HSBC has a buy rating with a target price of 120, has been raised to 120 from 102 rupees per share. So keep that in mind. Citi on Piramal Enterprises has downgraded the stock to a sell. The target price has been cut to 1010. So that's the other one to watch out for. There's 2 or 3 names to be kept in mind. Be mindful of that. Motilal Oswal has a note on Z, by the way. Target price is 320. So to watch out for that as well. That's the long and short of the trade setup today. Like I said, Pankaj Murarka of Renaissance would be here. We'll talk to him in detail about the chemical sector for sure, because that is starting to make some waves. So that's one conversation for sure. There is BLS International, which has posted decent numbers and the growth outlook is promising. So the management joins in at 1:30, Shikhar Agarwal, and the normal conversations on Trade Talk with Vivek Karwa and Rajesh Palvia. And to everybody, and of course the mutual fund show, Bharat Parikh of ICICI Securities and Prablit Bajpai of FinFix joining on the mutual fund show today to talk about the spate of NFOs and sectors from which new offerings are coming in and what to do with some of those. So that promises to be an interesting conversation as well. To everybody in India, wishing you a very happy Raksha Bandhan, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Trade Setup today.